Welcome back, man.
How you doing, sir?
You ready?
Let's
All
get
right.
it.
Man, today's going to be a good one. So, you got the NCAA tournament blowing brackets to hell. I know mine is shot. What about yours?
Trash.
Yeah, I give up. I can't make one. I'm never going to try to make one. Warren Buffett, I know you put $1 billion on it last year. Go ahead and put your whole fortune on it. You won't lose it. I got a question for you. Are the Celtics better without Kyrie?
We're gonna find out.
And then the big one. Should college athletes get paid?
No.
I think it's pretty obvious. Stay tuned. So, like I said, man, my bracket is out of there. I think the one that I had before Saturday was like 75% correct, and now it's like 40.
I had one perfect bracket, so I did 15 total, and I had one that was perfect. It was my 11th one that I made, and I had VCU winning. I had VCU winning the championship, and as you can imagine, that bracket's probably at like the 5% now. So.
Yeah, so no, my best bracket has Wofford in the Final Four. They're not playing anymore. So
They put up a good fight, though.
They did, and I thought they were good. You know who screwed me?
They were good.
They were.
Just not good enough.
You know who screwed me? Is LSU. LSU was supposed to be terrible, and they decided to go be good, and now they're in the Sweet 16.
Well, they are a 3 seed, so.
With 14 losses. When was the last time a 3 seed was 17 and 14?
Were they really 17 and 14?
Yes. Their record was terrible.
We don't have to double check that. I don't know.
I promise. Because I remember looking at it and I was confused as to why they were a 3 seed. I think it's because they made a run in the
tournament,
SEC. In the SEC tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, like, my bracket is out of there. But I still do have one where 7 of the Elite 8 teams that I have are still there. Obviously, the only one being Wofford. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. But I still got 7 of those teams left. Obviously, it's a lot of the higher seeds, which is all the Sweet 16 is. Honestly, man, this tournament, save for that Duke Central Florida game, has been kind of a letdown.
Yeah, there's no really Cinderella stories going on. So I guess in that sense, it's kind of boring. But March Madness is always great to me. Like, no matter what teams are playing, it's just great to see all the great teams, duke it out. Pun intended there. But all the great teams, like competing against each other. It's always going to be good games. And I just think what I like to see when I watch the NCAA tournament is just like the excitement. It's always like you got parents and fans from one school over here. You got parents, fans, students on this side. And just the raw emotion.
The kids, how excited they get.
The raw emotion that you see, like somebody hits a big shot and all the kids are so excited. The bench is
well, you
crazy.
saw the freeze frame, the picture that everyone has up of Duke after UCF missed that tip. RJ Barrett and Zion are in the air going for that chest bump. They're thoroughly excited.
Yeah.
Duke is the prohibitive favorite to win this thing. They're kind of the Warriors of the NCAA this year, and yet they beat a team that they should have smacked, and they're thrilled. There's just a different feeling about March Madness. No, I definitely feel that.
I think that's what makes it so exciting is you see the raw emotion from all the
players. Because so many of these kids, this is as high as they're going to get.
Yeah, the parents, it's great to see. You just don't get that in the NBA playoffs.
No, because it's a job. And there's more teams make it, and NBA is different. There's not anything like NCAA sports. Bowl games. You could go to the Bahama Bowl. But the kids that are playing in that game get so excited when they win. College sports just has a different feel to it because you're playing for the love of the game. You're playing to play.
Yeah.
There's no money involved. You're not playing for money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not playing for. Yes, you're playing for the chance of going professionally, but 9 out of 10.
That's 1%.
Yeah. I was gonna say 9 out of these 10 kids. No, they're not going. Duke is the exception where they have 5 guys that are going to be in the NBA in the next 2 years, but. UCF doesn't have anybody that's going to be in the NBA.
Aubrey Dawkins might have made himself a lot of money.
He might. But outside of that,
Taco Fall maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
No, I'm not buying Taco. I'm not buying Taco. But yeah, no, there's just a passion that college sports has. that I don't think you get anywhere else. So my question is this: after seeing the first 2 rounds and the Sweet 16 are set, so we kind of see most of the top teams are still playing. Is Duke still the prohibitive favorite to win this?
I think so. I think Duke's still a favorite to win it. I think the game that I'm most excited to see next is probably Texas Tech and Michigan.
Yeah, because they're the same team.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Texas Tech's like toughest game. I'm kind of biased, of course, but
Obviously.
I think that's gonna be a really good game, and I'm really excited to see if Tech can get past Michigan. I think they can make a run at the Final Four.
Oh no, absolutely.
Because this will be their biggest test of the season, probably the best team they've played since Duke.
Yeah, and it's strength on strength. The only team that ranks ahead of Michigan in defensive efficiency is Texas Tech, and they're very, very similar. They have the 1 star, Chris Matthews for Michigan, Jarrett Culver for Tech, obviously. But no, I think I'm kind of like you. I definitely think that's the game I'm most looking forward to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of hedging my bet though on Duke. I'm leaning a little bit more towards North Carolina now, and I'm not saying I think North Carolina is going to win it, but I don't think Duke is the slam dunk we thought they were a week and a half ago. I just think that I don't know if UCF just had a fantastic game or was actually able to exploit some things and kind of put some things on film.
Well, I don't know.
But if that was the case, I don't think there's a better coach to fix that and to see those and really pull an upset than Roy Williams.
Yeah, I mean, were you paying attention to how UCF was playing them? Did you see?
A little bit.
They had Taco Fall guarding Trey Jones, and they had him like in the paint. So they were basically just pretty much daring Trey Jones to shoot threes.
Which is kind of how
also,
you have to play Duke, because Trey Jones is not looking to score. Trey Jones is looking to just
they had that, and they were pretty much leaving Trey Jones open from 3, and they were leaving Jordan Goldwire open from 3.
Yeah.
So they were pretty much not even guarding him on the 3.
They're gonna run on their big 3 and just hope for the best.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really good. It really like disrupted Duke's like offensive.
It throws you off a little bit.
It disrupts their flow. So Trey Jones looking to facilitate. He can't really facilitate the way he wants to because he's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wide open, it's a good shot. Shoot it. But
yeah,
it leads to overthinking.
But you're putting him in a game that's not really his. He's not aggressive, but no. And I think that could come into play here towards the end of it. But hey, man, this is why we love basketball in March. Like this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is really fun, and it's great to see. For us, when we got to Tech basketball was not that good.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of decent seasons here and there. But it really, that our last year there and then these last 2 years with Chris Beard, they've really, really taken off. And it's fun to see, especially now that we have a real vetting-rooted interest in these games. It's a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
But I got a question for you. So the East is a little bit more kind of solidified in who's where. I don't think there's a whole lot of moving pieces. Clearly, Milwaukee, Toronto are our top. Indiana, Boston, Philly are kind of right there in the middle. And then they got those 3-4 teams kind of fighting for the last 3 spots. But I got a question for you, man. Are the Celtics better without Kyrie?
I don't think so. Just because of what Kyrie brings to the table. Kyrie makes the defense. I mean, his layup package, everybody knows his layup package is just ridiculous. He has the best layup package in the history
without a doubt.
of the NBA.
Yeah, no, he is a layup package. And he's not an athlete, which is even more insane.
I don't think they're better without him. What I do think is their team chemistry is garbage, and it's a lot of like balancing egos with the Celtics, because I think Jason Tatum is a blossoming star.
Yeah.
Kyrie, everybody's well documented. Kyrie left Cleveland because he wanted
his own team.
He wanted to be the guy. And,
so then he runs into a Jason Tatum, and he's like, oh crap.
I mean, Jason Tatum's good, but Jason Tatum doesn't want to be a complimentary player. Jason Tatum wants to find his own way. And I don't think necessarily that's the problem. I just think that it's a lot of balancing egos. Their team chemistry isn't great. They're not as good as they are supposed to be, as they were last year. And I think Kyrie's going after this year anyway. Just the way he's been conducting himself in like
post-game interviews. He's going to the Knicks. Kyrie's going to the Knicks. Let's be real.
I don't know if he's going to the Knicks, but
where is he going to go?
It's not going to be Boston.
No. Here's what I have kind of come to this conclusion. Kyrie is unquestionably the best player on the team. And it's not particularly close, I don't think. In a vacuum, individually, Kyrie is the best player on that team by a significant margin. That being said, there's an interesting point that I've seen several different people make, and I think it has a lot of validity to it. Brad Stevens made his mark at Butler with not a lot of talent, but he got the most out of said talent. He really made a name for himself in Boston when Kyrie got hurt, and he took these young kids and got them to where he got them. I don't know that Brad Stevens is a superstars type of coach. Does that make sense? And that's not a shot at Brad Stevens, because I think Brad Stevens is one of the best coaches in the NBA. I think he is better at coaching less talent and getting more out of them than he is trying to balance Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier wants more minutes, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. I think we're trying to balance all of these talented players. I think that is where it becomes hard. Because I think if you put Kyrie one-on-one with just about anybody in the league, he's going to win. Just ISO straight. I'm going to give you a little sauce here and give you some buckets. There's not very many people that can do it like Kyrie Irving. But when it comes to maintaining the type of system that Brad Stevens wants to run, that free-flowing ball movement, motion-based offense that is becoming so popular in the NBA, that's not Kyrie's game. And I think that is where they get kind of, they start to butt heads a little bit. I don't think Kyrie fits with Brad Stevens because I don't think Brad Stevens is the right type of coach for a Kyrie Irving because I don't think Kyrie wants to play that type of game.
That makes sense.
So
Kyrie's never been the guy that averaged eight plus assists per game.
No.
He's always around 4 or 5.
Kyrie's a bucket getter. That is what he does.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Even though he's a primary ball handler, you think primary ball handler should be averaging, 7, 8 plus assists per game. So, I can see it. It does make sense. I think that's why they play a little better with Terry Rozier. Because Terry Rozier's looking to get his shot, but Terry Rozier's not, looking to be like, oh, I'm the guy.
Terry Rozier also realizes that Jason Tatum is better than he is.
It was more of a collective effort.
Yeah, but you watched him play last year in the playoffs without Kyrie Irving. What happened? The ball was moving. Like, Jason Tatum showed, oh, this kid is for real. Jaylen Brown came out of his shell and really took off. They were able to run their offense through Al Horford, who I still think is the most overhyped player in the league, but we'll talk about that later. But personally, I think the Celtics are better without Kyrie Irving. I think if he walks next year and they re-sign Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward is a full year recovered from his injury, I think they could be significantly better next year. But this year, I don't know if they can put a run together because I just don't think that they have enough chemistry, really. I think that is going to hold them back. And I think if they don't get caught by the Pacers in the first round, I think whoever they see in the second round, if they stay at 5 and that's Milwaukee, I think that's a wrap pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree there. I agree.
Well, I guess we'll see Kyrie in New York next year.
It's a possibility.
Him and KD though, make the East interesting. Make the East great again. All right, man. Now for the part that's gonna piss everybody off. Whether or not to pay college athletes. Should these college kids get paid for playing college sports?
Nope.
Bruh.
This is like the most obvious question of all time. Of course they should be paid. Do people really realize how much money these colleges are making off of these kids? Like, they're making... You know how much the University of Alabama made last year in just athletic revenue?
How much?
$174 million. They weren't even the highest grossing athletic program in the country. You know who was?
Who?
University of Texas. $215 million.
You know why? That's because people just go to Walmart and buy UT stuff, and then they're like this. Yeah, Texas, and they just go to Walmart buying UT stuff. They ain't even sniff the campus of UT.
Doesn't matter. Like, you're going to a game, you're buying tickets at $50 a pop. They have a 100,000 seat stadium. That's a lot of money. You can now sell alcohol at college sporting events. That's bringing in more money.
It's also bringing in more police.
Yeah, well, listen, if you've been to a Tech game, you understand why there's cops there. Like,
oh yeah, but everybody gets drunk before the game. So
exactly. That's why there's cops there. They're already drunk. Like,
yeah.
No. I think the reason this hasn't become a thing and why college kids aren't being paid, outside of these universities being greedy and wanting all their money, is that there's not a solution being offered. Everyone is just, the people that are for it are just saying pay college athletes. But they're not offering a thing to do it. How are you going to tell me what to do or give me a suggestion of what to do and then not show me how to do it? That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where I'm going with this here. So, Alabama's football program last year, not the athletic department, the football program made $108 million with a profit of $46 million. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Like I said, the University of Texas last year set a record with their athletic department making $215 million. The average salary of the 10 highest paid coaches in college football is $6.73 million. The 10 highest, the average of the salary for basketball coaches, the 10 highest, is $5.13. And college basketball coaches have these massive buyouts. 7 of these 10 coaches have a buyout over $10 million. And 5 of them, it's over $20 million. You know how much money these coaches are getting off of these kids? And you can't give them any money? Come on, dude. You are literally... This is slavery. You are making so much money off of these kids, and what are they getting out of it?
A free education.
Okay. So basketball players that are one and done, how often do they go to class? Let's be real. If you are a one and done college basketball player, you know good and damn well they are not going to class more than twice a week.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I'm not on campus. So
Not anymore. But we both had classes with athletes. They're not the most punctual of students. Some are. Don't get me wrong. Some are. And some value that education. And I think that free education is very valuable.
Well, I think that's what creates the gray area for me. It's like, yeah, I agree that I think that college athletes should have some type of, compensation, but it's like it's gray area because it's like, so would Zion get more money than a bench rider at Duke? How is that going to work? Because Zion brings in 20, 30 times more money than a kid that people besides people that go to Duke wouldn't even know his name. So how much money does he get?
So I get that point. I really do. I understand that point because you're not the first person that's brought that up. And to a point, I understand that. And, but on the other side of it, the point of college is to prepare you for real life. Yes? To prepare you for the real world. In the real world, not everyone gets paid the same. Not everybody gets treated the same. The people that bring in the most get rewarded the most. It's that simple. I'm not saying that's how I would do it. But if that is the only argument for not doing it, I think that you can push that argument out the way really quickly. Because if your only thing is, well, does Zion get more than the 11th guy on Duke's bench or that walk-on that has played 4 minutes all year? Should he? In fairness, no. But in reality, would anyone blame him for paying Zion more than the 15th man on the bench? No. Because everyone knows. Why are people buying Duke tickets? To go watch Zion Williamson play. Why are people buying Murray State tickets that don't go to Murray State to watch Jay Morant play? Why has Tech been a sellout every year? Because of Keenan Evans the last 4 years and now Jarrett Culver these last 2. Like major superstars, these big-time players that are clearly high-end NBA prospects are going to bring in more money. So if they were to set it up and pay them more, that's not an unfair thing. But I'm not even saying to pay them more. So, I just want to run down a couple of numbers real quick. So the average of the top 5 earning college basketball teams, so like these teams, make $32 million a year. Meaning the basketball programs bring in $32 million a year. Mm-hmm. They're paying coaches on average about 12% of that, 15% of that. That still gives you a lot of leeway. So, here's my plan. Here's how you pay college athletes. It is a universal thing across the board. All players get paid the same. And it's a very simple structure. So the average college basketball team has 15 players. 10 to 12 scholarship players and 2 to 3 walk-ons. So we'll say the average basketball team, we'll say 15 players. So, those 15 players times 4 years at $12,000 per year. $1,000 a month. That's it. Just $1,000 a month. That means that entire class, that entire 4-year class, can get paid a grand total of $720,000. 13% of what they're paying that coach for a year. Pennies. Nothing. The average football team in college has about 110 players. Much grander scale. But they also bring in far more money than, like I said, Alabama's football team made over $100 million. The highest grossing basketball program is Louisville at just under 44. It's a $60 million, $65 million discrepancy. So, college football brings in a little bit more. College football players get paid a little bit more. They have bigger TV deals. They have more games on TV. They have bigger draws, bigger stadiums, more ticket sales. The average college football team has 110 players on it, roughly. Between walk-ons, scholarships, all that. So, pay them $1,200 a month or $15,000 a year over 4 years times those 110 players, meaning you could pay that entire 4-year class for $6.6 million, which is basically what you're paying their coach for a year, unless your coach is Nick Saban and that's what he finds in his couch. This is not a difficult proposition. Like,
I got 2 rebuttals to that.
All right,
my first one, if you implement, let's just say this plan does get implemented, what's to stop like a star defensive tackle to complain to the athletic director or the coach to say, look, coach, I'm out here getting hit, or the running back, let's just say the quarterback, running back, coach, I'm out here getting hit over 20, 30 times a game, and I make $1,000 or $1,200 a game, and the kicker goes out here, kicks 2 field goals, he gets the same amount of money as me. That's BS, coach.
It's standard. It's the same as it is right now. The star running back, Saquon Barkley, whoever it is going out getting beat and gets the exact same benefits that the punter gets who plays twice a game.
Yes, but
right now
he's on a rookie deal. So.
No, but I'm saying in college, right now, the superstar, Trevor Lawrence, Saquon Barkley, any guy like that, right now they get a free education. The punter, who nobody knows, gets a free education. There's no difference. So now all you're doing is throwing a standardized set of money in there. Nothing changes. But if that is the argument against it, then do the obvious thing. Let these 9 or 10 superstars go profit off of their own likeness. Let them go make money on themselves. There's not enough of these guys that are household names enough that this is going to throw something upside down. There's like 10 people in college football that are legitimate superstars. Let them go once a month and do a signing at the mall, charge $5 for a signed poster and a picture. They're going to have Trevor Lawrence is going to have a line in South Carolina at a mall for an hour. He'll make $10,000 like nothing. If the superstars are really getting into that, let them go make money off of themselves. Let a Johnny Manziel go sign some autographs. Who cares? It doesn't cost the university any money. Go let Saquon Barkley go downtown in Penn State and sign some autographs. Who cares? Let Trevor Lawrence go somewhere, go to a mall in Clemson and take pictures for an hour for $2 or $3 a piece. Who cares? It's a Sunday afternoon. He's not doing nothing. He ain't costing the school any money, and he can pocket a little bit of cash. It's not that difficult.
I get that, but I'm kind of in the middle. I think the NCAA does take advantage of the athletes, but I don't think that this plan is, as well, considering what you said about let them go, like, sign. I think that just takes away from, they come to a university to compete with, other players that go to that university. They become a team. It's like a brotherhood. And if one player, let's say the star quarterback, is going to the mall, signing autographs, making money, and the team is like, oh, well, this dude's all about himself. He's just trying to get money for himself and less about university, about the team, because it's a team sport, Yeah, some players are going to be better than others. Some players are going to get more attention than others, and that's just life. But it's like, I feel like it just takes away from, the brotherhood aspect of the team. It could hurt team chemistry in the locker room, I don't know. I think we're a long ways away from coming to a conclusion on this problem. I think it's going to be a problem for a long time. I don't think any solution is, in sight, like in the near future at least. But I do agree that the NCAA does take advantage of some players. I don't know how we're going to solve the problem of like compensation, but I don't think just paying them the same standard rate is the answer, because I feel like that's just it's gonna be a temporary solution, which is gonna cause more problems like in the long run.
Like, but here's what my rebuttal to that though is right now it's standardized. All we're doing is adding another element of standardization in there. So if they're not having a problem now in terms of brotherhood and team chemistry or anything like that, just adding money is not going to change anything when that's a standard set of money. It's not like quarterbacks get $10,000 or running backs get $8,000 and receivers get, $9,000. That is, we're not changing it based on position.
Mm-hmm.
All players get this much money per month, across the board. What that's going to do is it's going to alleviate all of these issues. A lot of these kids don't come from money. And so when they get these scholarships, when they move off campus, what happens is what they were getting for room and board basically turns into a stipend for rent. So if that only covers 85% of rent, where does that other 15% come from? You can't work as a college athlete. You don't have money. You don't have the time. And even if you can find the time, you have to sign a waiver with the NCAA, with your team, and with your athletic director where they can let you or not let you work. So if you can't work and you need to make money, you're giving them $1,000, $1,200 a month. It's not a lot of money.
That brings up another issue another concern that I have with that. You said a lot of these athletes don't come from money, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them don't come from money. You're going to give them $1,500 a month that they have free leeway to spend. They're going to go 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids, females everywhere. They can go do whatever they want. They're athletes. They can get alcohol. Mm-hmm. They're athletes.
Yeah.
The city will let them do whatever they want. They can get in strip clubs.
100%. Without a doubt. And you know what? Natural selection. If I give you this much and you go do something stupid, I'm damn sure not going to give you millions. It's that simple. If I can't trust you with $15,000 a year, if I can't trust you with $1,000 or $1,200 a month, why the hell am I going to give you a $10 million signing bonus? All this does is weed out the idiots before they get there.
What if that? But that's just for people that are going to the league, though. What if you give a $1,500, to a guy? It's standardized, right? You give $1,500 to a guy that's like not going to the league. He can go do whatever he wants, and then it's the same principle. But
if you're stupid with nothing, if you're stupid with this, what's going to happen when you get a job in the real world and you get an actual steady income? You're still going to be stupid. At some point, you need to learn how to handle stuff that is given to you. At some point, you need to learn how to be responsible and how to handle money. And if you're going to be stupid with something like this, then what's going to happen when you get to the real world and you're making $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 a year? Then what?
But you're young. That's the time when you're supposed to spend that money and do dumb stuff. Am I right or wrong?
You're not wrong. But at the same time, as unfair as it may be, we hold athletes to a higher standard. Because what's happening is we're giving these 22-year-olds millions of dollars and saying, hey, don't be stupid. That's a terrible idea. You have to prepare them. There's no other way. A lot of these kids haven't worked because they've been athletes their whole life. And so they've been working to get to this point. So now you give them so they've never had money to have to be responsible for and learn responsibility. All this is going to do is teach them responsibility. It'll give them a little bit more if they're coming from out of state to go visit family on a long weekend in the off season, or go take a road trip with some friends on the weekend. It's not like we're giving them enough money to go do something ridiculous. Like, they're not going to become big-time drug kingpins with $1,000 a month. But it's enough that if they have to cover a little bit of rent, they can. If they have to put gas in their car, they can. If they need to keep a little bit of food at the crib, they can. But it's not like they can just go and do whatever the hell they want with $1,000 a month. It's not that much money. But it is the NCAA going, listen, you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. We're going to give you a scholarship, and included in that scholarship is this amount of money. This is, we're going to make sure that all of your needs are met, that you are taken care of. That being said, there are stipulations that come with this. This is a part of your scholarship. So, if you get in trouble and you lose your scholarship, that money is cut off. If you become academically ineligible to play, that money is cut off until you're back eligible again. So it's not just free money we're giving you to do whatever you want. There's things that come with it. It would be part of your scholarship. We're not just like, here's your money, take it. There's rules and there's regulations on it. And, you know, if people are going to be dumb with this, like, sometimes you just have to have that oh crap moment. And if this is what it takes for them to get a little bit, and they could do something stupid and get in trouble, and then like, oh crap, I got to grow up, then it's a twofer. You know, then they get a little bit of cash, and now they grew up and became more competent, more, you know, useful adults. But with the amount of money that comes into these college programs and these athletic departments and how much money these coaches are making, Nick Saban makes $9 million a year. You mean to tell me Alabama can't afford to pay players? Alabama's damn near a D-League team for the NFL. You mean to tell me they don't have enough money to pay these guys a little bit? I'm not asking you to give them millions, but give them a little something. Because the thing with athletics that I don't think people understand, and professional sports, the earning curve is completely different. From 20 to 30, you're going to struggle in your 20s. 30s, you start to build. 40s and 50s, you're hitting the top of that. 60s, you plateau to retire at 70. But you have that really long 40, 45-year window of earning. It's the complete opposite in professional sports. You hit the jackpot at 21, 22 years old, but your earning potential is over by 30, 35 if you're lucky. So, you know, these people that are saying, oh, well, they make millions of dollars. Yeah, well, if you play in California and you're losing half of that money to taxes, and then you have to pay an agent, you have to pay a lawyer, you have to pay a money manager, you got to pay all these different people, you know, at that point, yeah, you're still in the upper 1%, you still have a decent amount of income coming in, but it's not nearly what that contract says, and that ends in 7 years. Like, the average professional sport, the average career is only 4 years. So you play through one contract. If you're lucky enough to get a second, then you get a second. But your earning potential starts like this and then just cuts off very, very quickly. So it's not fair to just say, oh, well, there's waiting and they'll get the bag later. That bag may not come. You'll be lucky if 2 players from a college team make it to the pros, make it to the NBA. You might get 1 or 2 that go play overseas somewhere and do okay. But you'll be lucky if you get more than 1 or 2 of these guys to make it to the NBA. On a college football team, you might get 6 or 7 of the 100 that make it to a pro team. And you might get 3 of them that last more than that one contract. Like, it's not fair to just be like, oh, well, they don't have to make anything right now because they're going to get it in years. Yeah, they'll get it for like 3, and then it's over. And then what do they do? Look, the point is, the fact that college athletes don't get paid is ridiculous. Like, they are bringing in more money for these universities than freaking tuition is. And they don't get anything out of it. Like, yes, I understand there's a value in a free education. God, I wish I would have had that myself. But, and I think there are a lot of players that do take advantage of that. And there are different opportunities you get as an athlete as far as networking and meeting people, and different opportunities outside of sports that you get that you wouldn't get as just a normal student. I understand all of that, believe me. But at some point, money is money, dude. Like, this is way too much money that these universities are getting off of these kids, that these kids don't get a cut of that. That's ridiculous. Like, what happened if Zion's knee injury was real and it was a big deal and his career is over, or he misses a year and it causes him to fall in the draft and he's not the number 1 pick anymore, maybe not even the number 2 pick? That already cost him money. He could have had protection against a little bit of that. What happens if you go to college and...
You think $1,000 is going to make a dent in that?
Better than zero? I'd rather get something than nothing. No, it's not a big deal, but I'd rather get something than zero.
I guess.
Look, you can't tell me. You can't tell me that college athletes shouldn't get paid. This is just an easy way to do it. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but it's not that complicated. These old rich dudes that are running these conferences, running these schools, are going to keep pandering the same nonsense that, oh, college kids don't need that we can't pay them this, that, and the other. Yes, you can. These universities bring in so much money, athletics, academically, they bring in a ton of money. And these kids are a massive reason why they should have a cut of that money.
You heard it here first. Or
pay the kids.
100,000.
So big news this week, Rob Gronkowski retired. After 10 years in the NFL, he's finally hanging it up. Probably to go be a pro wrestler or something. Rob Gronkowski was one of the most game-changing tight ends we've ever seen. But we really got to stop saying he was the greatest of all time. He's not Tony Gonzalez. He's not Shannon Sharp. He's not even Jason. How the hell is he always open? He doesn't even jump higher than me, Witten. Gronk was great, but we really got to chill saying he was the GOAT.
What's up, everybody? You see, I got the waves on swim. You feel me? I don't even wear a do-rag. But my take two has nothing related to sports. I just want to say shout out to this dude who I bought this shirt from at Padre. I don't even remember his name. I think it started with a D. But, yeah, Get Stashy, whatever that means, with the Monopoly pig on it. It's lit.